memories with your family and friends at High Impact Amusement Park. From the 7th of April to the 10th of April 2023, everything will be perfectly curated to create extreme Easter excitement. Good food and drinks, fun games for adults and children, a fully functional gym, service departments, and a lounge, all in a safe and secure environment. The best part is, when you buy 2 access tickets, you get 1 access ticket completely free. Yes, 1 access ticket free. Vouchers for games can be purchased at the park. For more inquiries, call these numbers: 0814-229-9509 or 0812-271-4373. You simply don't want to be left out. Terms and conditions apply. High Impact Planet Amusement Park and Resorts, destination of choice.
Are you looking for an avenue to blast your brand? Why not let us be your detonator at High Impact Radio 102.1 FM with Got You Covered. For advert placement, sponsorship, partnership, call us on 0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, 0902 745 3931, or send an email to info@highimpactstudio.com.
The business terrain can be tough, challenging, and murky. You need to be armed with superior intelligence, resilience, and knowledge to be able to triumph. Do you desire to thrive in business and become a reference point? Then join us every Monday on High Impact Radio 102.1 FM for TLIG, the Land is Green Business Show. Showtime is on Monday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mopolu Shade, Shonaike, and Kehinde Ajose are your hosts. It promises to be educated, empowering, and thought-provoking.
Good afternoon, Lagos. It's us here again on the TLIG Business Show. And of course, my co-host is here today.
I'm back.
Yes. Welcome back. I missed you last week.
Yes, it's great to be back.
You're
looking immaculate.
Thank you. And we have with us a wonderful guest. We'll be introducing him in a minute. But we're going to be talking today about social accountability as a tool for building the nation or building the country. Who better than Femi Onokore, the founder of Hookup, to be here to discuss and digest this conversation with us. So, Mr. Femi Onokore, welcome.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yes. So, for those who don't know you, just briefly, who is Mr. Femi Onokore?
Femi is a business consultant, a modest social activist, and a seeker of excellence in everything.
Awesome. Right. So, I'm sure for some people they will see this topic. I was telling Kenny off air that Mr. Femi is an Efiko, and that's why we found Efiko.
Sounds like one already.
And that's why. But we have to break down this because I'm sure some people would have seen the topic. I'm like, what is all this that is looking like project topic for instance or something? What exactly is social accountability, and why is it important?
Social accountability is a construct for using social engagement generally, civic engagement, to build accountability structures into the society. So we are not, in social accountability norms, we're not dependent on what the government is doing. It's rather power being devolved to the people.
To the people.
Right, and by fulfilling our own obligations in the system, then we begin to push the entire society in a particular direction that we want.
So social accountability is like, a mechanism or whatever for bringing power to the people.
If you want to reform a society, the first thing you should understand is what's the concept of society built on. It's built on human interactions, and then after a while, we start building layers on those interactions, and then we start scheduling responsibilities and assigning roles, to different people. Ultimately, it's still the people. We are the component parts. right, of the society. Now, when the people start removing themselves from the true functioning of the society, and then you pass on your obligations to the powers that be, government, this institution and that institution. When they fail you, they don't fail themselves alone. They fail the entire system. And the reason they fail the entire system is because we that were component parts, like the cell units of the society, right? We are the one that's failing. We didn't live up to our own obligations. Some of the best societies and civilizations over time were only able to go that far because elements within the society held on to the values of social accountability, civic engagement to drive accountable structures and institutions within the system.
So I have a question. You mentioned civic engagement. So I have two questions. The first question is, in Nigeria, how would you measure civic engagement in Nigeria? It's like we just leave it to those at the top
and the very loud ones on Twitter.
I'm trying to shade.
Yes, I am.
So it's like just leave it to the people feel like they are powerless. Although the narrative is kind of changing now. If I want to take a cue from the just concluded elections.
I would be interested to know the cue you're taking from the elections.
I don't want to dig deep into that.
Okay.
So, but how would you measure civic engagement in Nigeria right now?
Nigeria is quite a conundrum, right? We're a very ironic society. So we are far ahead on a lot of things compared to other societies in the world. Far. And I'm not saying because I'm a proud Nigerian, but we are. The way we think and approach issues, we're several steps ahead. But the problem we have is we have not evolved to this level that we can actually glean value from some of those things. So you see a lot of young people on the internet, right? And then they can do a lot of crazy, interesting stuff, do skits and have fun. But really, the internet was created as a productivity tool. What's the productivity result of their engagement? It cannot be just entertainment. Entertainment is after you have done the work. The work cannot be entertainment. So now, if you're building all your values around an end product that is still in the future, that you have not earned, it means that the process of getting to that end, you've missed out. So you have a lot of discordant, voices. With regards to what you said about the value of civic engagement, we have platforms. There's budget, there's setup. Now, the problem with some of these guys is, what is their mandate really? Who gave them a mandate? They seized the mandate. So budget says it wants to hold the government accountable for budgetary reasons. Serap says, look, civil society stuff. But the challenge that we have is how do we draw the line that the agenda is not their agenda and it is the people's agenda? Where do we draw the line? So because budget comes out and says this person is a thief or something, most people don't do any work, they just go with budget. So what have we done? We have just changed the face of the person that is supposed to do the job. Same way we have institutions, government institutions, who can do those things, and then we just say, okay, go and do the right thing, we know you should, and then we complain after. We have done that same stuff to CSOs. There's no contract, there's no social contract, are they accountable to us? Is Sarah for budget accountable to the people for all the funds that they get? So you see, when you say what's the level of engagement, you talk about what do you call it? Twitter, for example.
Yes.
People go on Twitter and then they just rant and have opinions. But Twitter was designed as a marketplace. In the market, you can have intelligent conversation. You can have intellectual conversation. But my goodness, you are more likely to have very shallow, mediocre conversation. That's more likely to be the trend. Why? Because marketplaces are meant for trade, to facilitate conversation, because the end is not that conversation. The end is to have an exchange of value. I develop a relationship with you, and then we talk, and because of that, you will buy my stuff or I sell this stuff to you. That's what a marketplace is. And that's what Twitter is. That's why people are trading falsehood,
Opinions, false.
for trends, for likes, for comment, because that is what a marketplace is. It's fulfilling its purpose. But because we don't have any accountability structures around it, and there's no social contract with anybody, just go there and you rant your own. And if the majority of the biased people are on your side, they shout, "Hey,
Well done.
and if they are not on your side, they shout you down. And that's, in the end, we have confusion. Just a marketplace.
So, I mean, from what you've said, because you've said a lot, and I'm just trying to picture all of these platforms that we have and the things that go on there. How then, or what mechanisms can one put in? Maybe the government or whoever, can we put in place to drive these things in a way that, they are accountable? Those who have become the loud voices, who have become the faces of this thing, can now be accountable to the people. You said something that they can come and say this, but a lot of people don't do their work. Somebody says this, they're like, yes, it's true. Oh, somebody comes, I have this expose or this. Oh,
So
yes. Nobody's doing
It becomes
the
a
work. So how
shouting
do we-
match, So the first thing, what I have always advocated, and it led to the journey of building the mobile solution.
Yes.
That we'll talk about. It's the first problem we have is orientation, and we have lost sight of our identity as a people, right? And I'm not talking not as Nigerians. I'm saying from the ethnic point of view, from the family, the nuclear family point of view, we've lost sight of our identity. We don't know ourselves. And so it's very easy for us to be shifted around by any wind or any wave that comes along. Right? We don't know who we are. So if you're going to ingrain civic engagement, social accountability structures, one of the first things you need to do is have a reorientation agenda. And this will focus on not just education for the coming ones, but how do I include the adult population demography into this conversation, right? What tools are they using now? What are their key concerns about different issues? And then you learn to build it. When they start trusting, for example, the solution that we have, the idea is, if I am confident in calling out a service provider, right? And I know that, the biggest way you can hurt any business really is when you take away business from them. That's it. It's not about all the noise. You can curse and all you want, but take away business from them, then you get their attention. So now when I can hold people that I am paying for a service, I'm holding them accountable. I become more confident to talk to the government, because it's my tax that's paying, that's keeping you guys far. But right now, the normal consensus a lot of people have is, my vote does not count. My voice does not count. Who is listening to me? And we have, because of that, our accountability and inclusive muscles, they've atrophied. They've not been exercised. The best people do in terms of relating to these things is they go on rants and then they hold on to their previously held biases and use that as props.
The rants are the starting points to create a change.
A rant is, by definition, an unintelligible. I don't want to finish.
But
Yes.
like I said,
Don't abuse it.
See, let's get it straight. You're entitled to be upset. You can be annoyed. It's fine. And when you're upset and annoyed, you can say a lot of different things. It's in the moment. It's also fine. But ranting cannot be your mode of communication. If you have a child, a baby, and every time the baby wants your attention or needs your attention for something, all it does is just cry and make noise and throw stuff around, at some point you'll be fed up with that baby. You can give it up for adoption.
Nope. From a mother's point of view, nope.
You have not been pushed. I dare say you have not been pushed enough by a baby that is psychotic, because that's what is going, and that's what the rant mode happens. Now, when you have a string of adults who are also on that page, so baby number 1 makes noise, and then triggers baby number 2 who makes it, and then triggers baby number 3. When are we going to have a conversation about what the problem is? Not to talk of getting the solution. I mean, let us first identify the problem. So in the last election, right, people find it so difficult because of all the noise to see any gains that was made. And I can point you to a simple one. This election, last election.
I say because I'm sure some people ready to stone you right now.
No, this last election is the first time that incidence of overvoting was practically non-existent.
Yes, the numbers matched.
Overvoting was not an. We always had overvoting as an issue. Identity was a problem. Now you have Beavers, right? And Beavers just help clean up that space. It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but Beavers has solved a huge problem. If you notice, previous narratives would be underage voting. Some people, nobody is saying all those things now.
True.
Now, if you cannot see that, okay, so these are the problems. So you need to first understand these are the problems we have before you can prefer a solution. But if you think you will have a one-size-fits-all solution and then just even God Almighty for the Christians, right, used 7 days to create the world. Why didn't He just say, okay, let there be the world, let it be the year 2023, and let people be partying, let's be having fun. Femi will be in High Impact Studio, and that's the beginning of the world. It took a process.
Yeah.
I am a product of several years of evolution, of different DNAs coming together, different experiences coming together. It takes a while. You build on it and get better.
I think we've said so much that people need to sit down and process and think about. So we're going to go on a quick break. And when we come back, we'll just say a few things and then we'll open up the phone lines. Hopefully nobody will be calling to curse you out.
It's part of.
I know you're ready. You're out to the
it's
time.
part
So
of the
stay
job.
tuned.
The business terrain can be tough, challenging, and murky. You need to be armed with superior intelligence, resilience, and knowledge to be able to triumph. Do you desire to thrive in business and become a reference point? Then join us every Monday on High Impact Radio 102.1 FM for TLIG, the Land is Green Business Show. Showtime is on Monday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mopolu Shade, Shonaike, and Kehinde Ajose are your hosts. It promises to be educated, empowering, and thought-provoking.
Do you know bad production can kill a great content idea?
Do you want to have a photo shoot, audio production, or do you need a professional voiceover artist?
Do you simply want unmatched cinematography, video production, or just event coverage, such as weddings, birthdays, or burials?
Or do you need a space for meetings or conferences? All these are possible with High Impact Studios. Don't bring down your creativity, let's help you take it high.
And out of this world with our state-of-the-art equipment and first-class studio space.
We give you the quality you deserve at the best rate.
For more details, call 0706 393 5694 or 0915 958 1881. High Impact Studios, the future.
This is why we are unique. Our lifestyle is urban.
Our lifestyle is urban.
Oh my God! The business terrain can be tough, challenging, and murky. You need to be armed with superior intelligence, resilience, and knowledge to be able to triumph. Do you desire to thrive in business and become a reference point? Then join us every Monday on High Impact Radio 102.1 FM for TLIG, the Land is Green Business Show. Showtime is on Monday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mopolu Shade, Shonaike, and Kehinde Ajose are your hosts. It promises to be educated, empowering, and thought-provoking.
In the kitchen,
In the office?
in traffic. Only one king exists.
The king of radio. I'm a king. High Impact 102.1 FM.
Welcome to the high side of life.
Impact 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
I just want to be here.
It takes a lot of guts to golf the way we do. That's why we are the tiger in the woods. High Impact 102.1 FM.
Welcome back from the break. This is still the Land is Great Business Show on High Impact Radio 102.1 FM. So here with us, the founder of Woke Up Social Accountability Solution, Mr. Femi Onakonre. Great to have you on the show.
Pleasure.
Okay, so before we came back from break, we were talking about do you think grants are tools for creating any lasting change?
The best you can get with any grant is you get people's attention. That's the best. Now, that may sound nice, but it's not flattering because even a madman can get people's attention. So how does that help you solve the problem?
Yeah, but it's a starting point. At least they will listen to you first.
No, you see, you have ranted, and in all likelihood, like I said, it's usually unintelligible. It's emotion driven. If you are overwhelmed with emotion,
we have to flesh out this unintelligible before they call and be cussing us on this show.
It's fine. It's fine. See, if you have pent up emotions, what is advisable is get somewhere. Right. If you're a writer, write. If you're a singer, sing. If you can't do any of those things, go into a room and let it out. Right. Take a walk, and then come back, and then that's when you can
get yourself together.
You're an adult. We are adults. We're not animals. Right. An animal will react based on how it's feeling at that particular moment, and then we can excuse it because it's an animal. But we aren't. We claim that we're Homo sapiens. So then let's act it as thinking beings. Right? It's not.
Yeah, you just have to be sobbing us now.
So it's no. There's nothing wrong with ranting, in my opinion. There's nothing wrong with it.
Please note if you're listening that opinions of the guest are not opinions of the show. Thank you.
So ranting does not. If it becomes your mode of communication, then you have a problem. If it's a default mode of communication, it means you are not interested in reasoning out anything, in solving anything. You are just an emotional hot air waiting to be released.
Awesome.
How do you help anyone?
Okay, I understand what you're saying, actually, because when we talk about Nigeria is such a diverse, oh my God, diverse nation. And when we talk about civil engagement, you just have all sorts of opinions. Diversity is a good thing in itself, but we haven't been able to
harness it because there's no structure to it. And, the thinking is, so we have a lot of, like I said, orientation is a very big part of what we need to do.
Yes.
We have a lot of very faulty thinking. There's one example that I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. I pass my neighbor, the generator.
Yes.
Now, what is curious about it is you invest your money in something that's to give you and your family some comfort.
Yes.
That's the idea.
Yes.
However, the projection, mental projection, and goes with the nomenclature given.
I better
pass my neighbor. Now, why is you being better than your neighbor the priority, not the comfort of your family or yourself or your ability to improve your productivity? It is thinking like that keeps us in a rut. That you always feel that you're in a constant battle against someone, against a group.
Okay, we have a caller. Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Oh, it's not
Aki
clear.
in the building.
Mr. Aki, good to hear your voice.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Yep. How are you guys
It's not
doing?
clear at all.
Okay.
Mr. Femi, good
Okay, awesome.
afternoon.
All right.
All right, good afternoon.
So let's have your
Okay,
contribution.
so a very quick one. Mr. Femi, have you ever been involved in data collection?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, like a project I collected data.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now.
I use Power BI.
Could you say that again?
I use Power BI. So I'm really
use
big
Power
data.
BI. Okay, one
Big
of
data,
the,
yeah.
one of the analytic tools.
Yeah.
Okay, very, very good. Very good. So, at what point does accountability in data collection comes in? Now, the meaning of accountability is, okay, this is how far we have gone, and this is all the money you've given us. This is what we've done with it. You get me? So at what point are this okay? This point to account for everything. Is it in the mid of the project, or till end of the project, or after the project has been done, concluded, then a month, 2 months later, then it can now come with accountability. I hope you got what I'm saying, or I should come again.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but in the course of my response, you might be able to direct me. All right. Okay, so if I get you right,
okay, let me come
what
again.
you're saying.
Let me come again.
Okay.
Let me come again. So we have a project we are doing now, and among the project there is an avenue for accountability. And accountability means how far we've gone about the project, the money we've been given to execute the project, what we need the money for, and this is the balance. So I'm not asking. Now, for accountability reports to come into the project, must it come in the middle of the project, at the end of the project, or months after the project?
Okay, so you've
I'll
spoken.
be on the other side. Listen
Yes.
to it.
Oh, okay.
All right, thank you,
Great.
Mr. Aki. Thank you.
So I like the question, and it actually has a pretty straightforward answer. In project management, there's what you call milestones, right? And then you set your budgetary allocations, your resource allocations against milestones, what the deliverables are, and accountability comes in at each milestone position. So it needn't be the end, middle. All those ones are structures that you set yourself. So if we set the milestone that, okay, within month A and month B, this should have been disbursed and this should have been done, and these are the people responsible for it. We check end of month B. Okay, so this is the milestone we're expecting at this point, and has it been achieved, right? And then you hold the people responsible for that process, accountable for it. So it's not really about a fixed timeline over a time. It's the milestone that you have set regarding your deliverable, right, and the resource availability. You might have resource constraints that may affect your ability to deliver that milestone on schedule, right? What responsible organizations and project managers do is they pre-advise the organization of those constraints so that it is not at the point of review of milestones that you start giving excuses.
Okay, I hope that's okay, Mr. Aki, but I know he will call back if he has further questions. Before we went on break, so if you're just joining us, we have Mr. Femi Onokore, the designer or founder of Hookup, a social accountability platform. And what else? Because I saw your one move. Okay, yes, social accountability. And so that is why he's here to talk to us about social accountability as a tool for nation building, for building the country as a whole. And before we went on break, we had talked about different things, about how, a lot of times just the loudest person in the room, a lot of the social platforms we have, we're not having deep and proper civic engagements, right? So it's the loudest person in the room just comes, makes noise, and that person comes, makes noise, and we're not really getting anywhere.
And all they do is they feed on your bias. They feed on your insecurities, right? And because you don't know better, there's nothing to compare with. You go with whichever trend is flowing.
It's flowing. So how do we, for instance, the platform, how can the platform address this issue?
Okay, so I'll use first with the elections that's passed. In the midst of all the confusion and all the issues that people talked about, there are a couple of things that were pertinent across board. The principal actors were INEC, the different parties, and the what's it called, the electorate, the voters. Those are the principal actors. What the solution does is it brings the people who are fundamentally the strongest and most important part of the component.
Even though they do not know it.
They don't know because they don't see a platform for it. They don't have an opportunity to say, okay, so for example, INEC has not arrived by 12 noon at a particular polling unit. Of course, it means that before accreditation and the rest of it happens, it's going to take a while. How many people will be able to wait that long? So we can already start having